This is Angela from Lost Reviews, and I'm here talking with Topher Grace for his new film, Take Me Home Tonight.
Hello, thank you. I like how you said that.
Yeah. So, thanks for coming to Kansas City. It must be nice to take a break from, boring sunny LA to come to icy, frigid air here.
I know, I was so sick of all those starlets and warm weather.
I know, right? You gotta start working on your Tanner once on.
It's actually really nice to, we had a couple screenings of the film that went really well in LA, and you start to go, wait, they're kind of my friends, and it's where I live in the country, and it's about LA. So it's really nice. We had a screening last night to hear people, going nuts for it, and very self-centered, by the way. Like, stayed and watched it and was really into it. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I saw the film, and I wanted to have you maybe give a synopsis of your character.
You saw it? What'd you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I did, yes.
Well, sell it a little more. Come on.
Okay. What do you mean, the story?
What do you like about it?
I like the humor in it.
Really? Well, it's a comedy, so that's good.
And I like you only used the best 80s songs in there.
Yeah, we actually when we started off kind of thinking the idea of the film, I'm a producer on it, so I was part of kind of developing it. We kind of wanted to make one of those films that's a generational film. It hasn't been made for this generation.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a movie about the 70s and the 90s,
yeah.
Days of Confused. They did a movie about the 50s and the 70s, the American Graffiti.
Right.
But both those films didn't make fun of the, it's not like they were playing Shake Your Booty in Days of Confused. They were only playing the best 70s music, yeah. Had like kind of the best actors of the time, like McConaughey, Ben Affleck, Mila Jovovich, Renee Zellweger. This is all like their first film.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to do that, was to have, kind of take it really seriously and attract, people like Anna Faris and Teresa Palmer and Dan Fogler, these people in the future will go, wow, I can't believe all those $20 million actors were all in one film.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was going to ask you, because the film is based in the 80s, but the story is around kind of the younger generation of 21, 22-year-olds. Were you hoping that this film would be more targeted towards the age group or the people who already lived through that in the 80s?
Well, this is a thing that we had success with on that 70s show. The 70s is a little bit more of a spoof of a decade. Was that it hits two audiences, which is really nice. It hits the audience that lived through the 70s, and then it hits the audience that is discovering it through the characters that age. So
that's kind of what we were discussing after we'd seen the film, is who's going to go for this more, and I thought it's going to be pretty down the middle, I think, because there's also people who are still in that age that really love the 80s and love the 80s music.
Well, the best is if because I'm getting closer to the older side of these audiences, you go, when you hear a song that you had an experience to at a certain time, I would be a 90s kid, I think. That's the period of time that I really came into pop culture. But if I heard like, once there was a boy, that song? You guys are too young. How old are you?
Oh, you never asked me.
Oh, I'm sorry, come on. You're younger than me, I guarantee you. And like that brings me back to like 1993, like this, you don't remember that song?
Or maybe if you sang it more, it was starting to sound familiar. You should just sing the whole song right now. Who is it?
The Crash Test Dummies.
Okay.
Come on, they're all nodding. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Kid's got birthmarks all over his body. I don't know what the hell that song's about. But it's like, it takes me to literally the exact, I went to boarding school, like the dorm room I was in when that song came out. I feel like, yeah, for the generation that lived through the 80s, this will be time travel.
Yeah.
And for the generation that didn't, it will be an interesting discovery. I mean, the soundtrack will be even greater in a way, because it'll be, discovery.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, can you tell me why it's taken so long for this film to come to theaters? Because I think you filmed it around 2007, correct?
Yeah, 2008. But it was a really unfortunate experience that then kind of became a great experience. I had to knock wood every time I tell the story. But there's a lot of cocaine in the film, as you know. And it's not exactly negative on the cocaine. But when the studio we were at the time had a real problem with that, we kind of said, I don't think you can do a movie about prohibition without showing alcohol. Mm-hmm. It's just not truthful. And the same thing here. We said, I don't think you can, show a night in the 80s where three friends are partying their asses off without showing cocaine. It's just a fact. So we had two producers. One of them was in American Graffiti, Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, probably the best producers alive. And their advice which is really smart, is look, it's going to be dated anyway. It's not going to take anything away from the experience if it's held like a year. Let's, you know, hold our ground and not, you know, really new to the film to take the cocaine out of it. Not to mention one character would just start acting really weird.
Yeah, no
out of nowhere.
explanation.
So we kind of hung in there, and luckily Ryan Kavanaugh, who runs Relativity, who's putting out the film, who is a solid 30, 40 years younger than most of the other studio bosses in town, saw it and said, "Oh, I get what this is." Like, he's only 3 years older than me, so he said, "I understand what this is, and that it's funny and it's good." And now we're getting probably a bigger release than we would have gotten, so I'm just thrilled. Normally, when a movie's held, that means that it's been, you know, sliced and diced, and it's kind of a hodgepodge of different things. In this case, we got to put everything back in that they kind of forced us to take out.
Kind of what I thought when I was reading about how long it had taken, and when I saw it, I couldn't understand why, because it was really enjoyable.
That's nice of you to say. Yeah, especially because that's why I'm happy to be doing this kind of press tour, is because I want to say, as an artist who kind of had an idea for the film, and then also as someone who's in it, we're so proud of it. It's artistically what we wanted. And had we played ball and had it come out in 2008, I think it would have been a much worse film.
Might not have played as well.
I don't know if it would make sense, but yeah.
So I really like the chemistry you have on screen with Anna Faris and David Fogler.
Yeah.
Was your chemistry the same off screen, or was it just?
Everyone in that film, it was like the last year of camp that you didn't know you were going to get to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we were all staying in the same place in Arizona, and then on our one day off, we had to, you know, it was all shot at night, so we had to stay on nights. We were like vampires. You know?
Yeah.
So we'd all go up to the house set and party on the set. It's like
practicing for the film then?
Yeah, Anna married Chris, who proposes to her in the film. Literally. Like, I mean, she like doesn't go up so often in the film, but they got married. Like, Dan was just staying at my house like a couple weeks ago. Like, everyone will tell you in these interviews, like, we're all really friends, but in this case, like, everyone on the poster, we're legitimately really, really tight.
Okay, well that's good. I do have to give you one little gripe about the film, because there's so much voluptuous, wonderful 80s women's hair, but where's the flock of seagulls or Jerry curls?
Okay, I'm going to be straight up honest with you about this. I've just come off another film, and that hair lady was wonderful in the film. It didn't come together with the wig. I was supposed to do like this shaggy Michael J. Fox wig, and unfortunately we just had to go with what it was. I'm still like blow drying, as much blow drying as we could. Yeah, but that was what my hair was. So, you know, when I look at it now, I think I'm kind of glad we didn't do something too crazy, because we really had to avoid all those traps. When you make a film, you know, like, I love The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
But it's 8 years out of the 80s, and it's kind of making fun of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to avoid, you know, kind of a big brick cell phone, or someone saying, CDs will never take off, or you know what I mean, whatever or by the year 2000 we'll have hover cars, or whatever. We wanted to really be like, we made a film in the 80s, and it got put in a vault, and then someone blew the dust off of it, and this is literal time travel.
Okay, well then, can you tell me now, I know you've been working hard on this project, but do you have any new projects that you're working on now?
Yes, I just finished a movie where me and Richard Gere are kind of CIA, FBI, and it's like a thriller. We're tracking down a killer, so very different tonally. Less boobs in that one, and less cocaine.
Yeah.
And then I also did a Curtis Hanson HBO movie that's based on a book, Too Big to Fail. It's kind of nonfiction.
Okay. Maybe for those in the future.
Also, yeah, any of you banking fans, that's the one for you.
Well, actually, everyone here wants to know if there's going to be a spin-off for Venom.
Oh, well, if there is, certainly won't be with me. I always say about the Spider-Man movies is that I'm just glad I was in the best one. Just kidding. But I saw a picture of the new kid, Andrew Garfield, in a magazine like the other day, and it looks great. Mark Webb is like a really talented director,
like him,
and I love 500 Days of Summer and a lot of his music video work. And the minute I saw that picture, I thought, oh, he's got some kind of new, cool, interesting take on this. So I'm excited to see it. Yeah, Emma Stone is such a great actress too.
I agree. So no venom then. I thought you did well.
Thank you. It was, you know, those films are insane. It's really, I remember thinking when I was on this one, because it's got, you know, low budget and this cast that's all really hungry and young director, and it's very different being on a film that's like, has, you know, $300 million,
Right.
you know, and it's a third film in the series, and just two very different worlds.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down and talking with us.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay here in Kansas City.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you really liked the movie. It's
I
great.
did. I will tell everyone to see it.
No, make everyone go see
It's
it.
coming out March 4th, correct? I think that's when I was told.
You couldn't have said that more. Yeah, March 4th.
March 4th, go see Take Me Home Tonight and relive the 80s.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.